Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, students. I hope all of you are in good health. In today's lecture, we'll learn about some lab activities which has been given in your books. So let's start. Here you can see a task is given that the computer science teacher has asked the students of class 7 to create a Visual Basic application to enter a number and display its square and cube on click of the display button. Help them with the code and design your own interface, and a hint is given that square, that is number into number, cube, number into number into number. You have already learned in maths that we can find the square of a number by multiplying the number twice by itself, and you can also find the cube by multiplying the number to itself thrice or three times. Okay, you have to create a Visual Basic application, and you can see by reading this task you can better understand that you have to find the square and cube of a number, and for this purpose of course you need four label controls. One for your heading, that is square and cube, the next one for your entering a number, the third one for finding the square, and the last one for finding your cube. And of course there will be a button control to show for showing your display, and at the same time you will have your three text boxes controls. The format of your form will be like this: square and cube. You can I have made this form for you. You can add your relevant text properties in these label controls. It is your label 1 control, it is your label 2, it is your label 3, and it is your label 4. Here you have given your relevant text properties. Here square and cube, here enter a number, square of the number and cube of the number, and it is your button control where you can find your output while clicking it, and these are your three text boxes controls. Of course we have to give them certain text properties like this. You can see I have shown for you. Mostly you can see that at the very top, that is your heading, and at the very last you mostly give your font like 14, and in the rest of part of the form you can give your font size like 12. Here you can see for your heading, that is text and square, we have given the font bold, that is 14, and rest you can see we have given the font that is 12. And in the last, that is your button control, you can see here also have given the size as 14. And these are your text boxes properties. For your text box 1, where you have entered your number, here you have given the relevant property, that is fixed single, and in both these two text boxes you have to find your output. Here you have to find in text box 2 your square, and in this text box 3 you have to find your cube. Here you can see we have given the text properties like enabled, false. Okay, moving ahead, it is your code. You can write your code. I have already told you that when you click on your um, uh, button control like this, when you click on your calculate button, you can get your code template where you can write this code. I have given you this code. You can write this code in your code template, and then finally again for saving your project and then running, you can get your required output. I hope you can perform this practical by yourself. Okay, moving ahead in task 2. The science teacher has asked the monitor to create an application that will convert the temperature given in Fahrenheit to temperature in Celsius on click of the display button. Here you have given your temperature in the Fahrenheit and you have to convert it into Celsius, and there is a button control by clicking on this display button. The interface should look as given in the adjoining figure. A figure is given in your books. Of course, I'll show you here also. Can you do this task? A hint is given, that is formula for Celsius, that is 5 by 9 into Fahrenheit, that is -32. Okay, you will get your application form like this. These are your label controls. The one for your temperature conversion, that is label 1, and label 2 is showing your enter number in Fahrenheit. Here you will enter your number in Fahrenheit, and this one is your temperature in Celsius, that is your label 3 control. And this is your button control for showing your output. And these are two text box controls. Okay, moving ahead. Let's see their text properties. I have already told you that you have three label controls. One for your heading, that is temperature conversion. Of course, we have given it size like 14, and you can also change it by yourself. Here in label through label 2 and 3, you have given your size like 12. And in your text box 1, you have given your temperature in Fahrenheit, and whenever you have to find your output in text box 2, that you have to convert it into Celsius. Here you have given its a property like enabled false, and then clicking on your button control, that was your display button with the relevant property of 14 size, you can get your code template window where you can write your message. This is your message. You have to write this message accurately and carefully in this window. And then by saving and then running your project, you can get your output on the form. Task 3. The maths teacher has asked Rihanna to create a Visual Basic application that will input length and breadth of a rectangle in text box 1 and text box 2. On clicking the area button, it should display the area in text box 3. Here you can understand there is a text box 1 where you will write your length of the rectangle, and in text box 2 you will write your breadth of the rectangle. And area, of course, the formula for finding the area is length into breadth. You will get your output in area. At the same time, you have to find the perimeter by clicking on the perimeter button, that is your text box 4, and interface should look like as given in your figure. The figure has also been given in your books. Here I am also showing you this a figure. It is your, of course, label 1 control, label 2, label 3, label 4 and label 5, and relevant properties you can give it by yourself. And these are two button controls, one for the area and one for the perimeter. And by clicking on this area control button, you can get your area in this text box, and by clicking on the perimeter control button, you can get your perimeter of the rectangle in this relevant text box. Okay, let's see their text box properties. Of course, the first one, that was for your heading. It has given font 14 for making it elaborate and accurate. And then we have given the size 12. And finally, for your area and perimeter, it is given the size 14. And this your text box 1 for she was showing you the length, and the text box 2 was showing you the breadth. Here in text box 3, you have given your output of area. Here you have changed the text property as given it is enabled false. Here you have find the perimeter. This text box 4 is showing you the perimeter, and here you have given the text property as enabled false. And then by clicking on uh, area button, you can uh, add this message in your code template, and by clicking on perimeter control button, you can add this relevant message in your message template, and by saving and running your project, you can get your output. I hope you understand today's lecture well. Stay blessed and do your practice much more. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.